Episode 6 of The Acolyte is here, and if you thought that this was going to be the episode where we finally get some answers to the many questions this show is throwing at us, don't worry, you'll get none. Lucasfilm really put out a $20 million, 32-minute filler episode, leaving us with 2 episodes remaining, and one of them is going to almost entirely be a flashback sequence, which means that the entire plot will need to be resolved in the final 30-minute episode of the finale. Welcome to the Pondering. Buckle up. Hello viewers and welcome to the Pondering. I am the real-life fake wizard. If this video brings you any value at all, I would invite you to subscribe to this new channel where we are posting videos nearly every single day. In the previous videos of this series, I normally open by discussing how I'm coming at this from a unique perspective and I'm looking for the good in Star Wars, hoping it returns to its roots. Well, I am a Star Wars fan, but I am not a Disney Star Wars fan, and The Acolyte is horse shit. Former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, Leslie Headland must have gone to the J.J. Abrams University of Mystery Box Writing and then flunked out. Because all this show is setting up for mystery box after mystery box, and none of the reveals to any of those mysteries have been satisfying thus far, which can only lead me to a conclusion that the finale of this show is going to be... I have no expectations that this show is going to be any good at all with its resolution. I feel bad for all the fans who are coping on Twitter right now saying, "Oh, it could still turn around. There's still 2 episodes left." This show is not freaking good. Anyway, I'm not gonna waste your time like the show wasted my time. Let's get into this, reviewing it scene by scene. Osha awakens in an unknown location that she did not go to sleep in. I'd like to start off by saying, remember, this episode is around $20 million in runtime. Million with an M. We're once again moving at snail's pace through anything happening. The episode runtime is 32 minutes. There's only 8 episodes. We don't have time for this. You've done enough. You've done enough of these long-winded segments where at this point now it's like, come on, make something happen, make something happen, make something happen. I'm gonna skip way ahead, not because I'm skipping through for like copyright reasons. I'm skipping ahead because this is so damn boring. There's nothing happening. You're not missing anything. Osha wakes up, she looks around, that's about it. And she walks out, and she's gonna see Chimere. Is this Oct 2? Certainly looks like it could be, but don't worry, they're not gonna tell us now. They're gonna mystery box the crap out of it. This episode is so disappointing. Yeah, so why do the big setup? Is this reminds me of how Rings of Power did the Mordor reveal of, we know, the audience knows it's Mordor, but they had to show us on screen when it became Mordor. So if this is Oct 2 and they're doing this unknown planet thing, I can't really say I'm disappointed because at this point, my expectations are so low. Like you guys are so boring. Little critters from unknown planet coming to a store near you. He just happens to be walking away in that direction at this time. Where's he going? We cut back to Master Soul and May, who's parent trapping Master Soul right now. How Soul does not know that he's traveling with a doppelganger, I don't know. This guy is supposed to be strong enough in the Force that he could sense people's emotions around him. He's a master Jedi. Not only is she deceiving him, she has a brand on her forehead that's a dead giveaway, a positive identifier. But you'll see, it's how he figures it out. Oh my gosh, this is just play the just play. As far as we know, the ship has not engaged in any kind of combat. The ship has had no reason to have any kind of technical problems. Why now is it having a comm problem? The show is not going to tell you, but it's one of the questions that I have. The comm problem being the issue is the plot device. It's the plot armor for anything happening. Because instead of having the conversation saying, hey, there's a Sith back, they they invented this, oh, there's a comms problem to create a delay between the council finding out about it. And it's plot convenience. It's plot armor to telling a good plot. Ah, yes, Basil the Gopher. Everyone on Twitter loves Basil. I don't know why.
Threat than we anticipated.
Okay, so May waited until they were aboard the ship and off planet before she was going to attack Master Sol. Why? Why now? Why now when he's on the comms with the Jedi? Is it because his back is turned and he's distracted? Would that not engage more Jedi coming after you because you've killed another Jedi? I don't give a damn what anyone says. May is not a good person. Also, this is stupid. It makes no sense because you're just going to draw more attention to yourself. It's like, hello, 911? Yes. Hey, I need some help. All of my friends have been injured. Oh no, I am now being stabbed. Oh, you're going to summon the wrath of the Jedi. This is dumb.
Take the wheel.
What happened that she just, poop, I'm going to be Osha now and take the wheel, keep playing off the facade. Why the delay? Why is there a delay in, if you wanted to kill him, why haven't you yet? Master Sol gives a look as if he knows what's going on, that May and Osha is not who they say they are on the ship, but the show is going to do nothing with it, and it's going to be a long time before any kind of resolution happens with them at all. There is nothing else more pressing than the Gopher plugging in the pip droid, because that's what's important. That's what the fans are waiting to find out about. How is the pip droid doing? The Gopher travels international. And now we've entered the OnlyFans segment of our show. That's right. You know what Star Wars needs? More naked dudes. That's what it needs. Naked dudes. Remember, this is for kids, right? That's what Disney Star Wars will say. Star Wars is for kids, right? Gotta get those naked dudes in there for them. That's a joke, by the way, because this is really sick. This is all, the whole thing here is kind of sick. So sexy Sith Lord goes to take a bath, and Osha creepily just watches from behind the rocks. This is the same situation. Both sisters are being stupid at the same time, it turns out. They both have blades. They're both moving in on their prey, but they're not gonna do anything. So why is the show wasting our time making us think they're going to do something? Now, by the look he gives, he could sense her, okay? So did he sense her the whole time? Did he sense her while he was walking here? Did he know she was there while he disrobed? Who's this show for?
How does it feel?
Don't move.
If you're not gonna join me, I'd like to put my clothes back on.
Gary Nerdrotic put it on Twitter. He said it best. Write what you know. And the scene was written. The former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein.
If you're not gonna join me, I'd like to put my clothes back on.
Did she just look at his junk? Let's do a slow-mo. Oh my gosh, she did look at his junk, yeah. Disney Star Wars for kids, folks. That's who they say this is for.
You're the one with the weapon.
Did you kill Sol?
No.
Did you kill May?
This back and forth of how they are addressing each other with this cadence of tone is how the entire rest of their episode is going to go. There's not going to be any real discoveries other than that Osha has some kind of draw to the dark side. There's fear, it leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. She's already at the anger stage, and that's what the show is going to say. Nothing else has happened throughout the show that's made me think that she's moving towards the dark side until this episode. They really, and if that is the case, they do an awful job of setting it up.
Oh, Seth.
You saved us, Osha. You saved me.
See, like I said before, he must not know, right? Does he know? If he knows, this makes no sense.
To tell them everything.
Everything?
This is more mystery box bullshit. It's time for me to tell them everything. That's just once again poking the audience. Like, We didn't tell you everything. We didn't tell you everything. We didn't tell you everything. This is a mystery box. There is now 6 episodes of this dude referencing that the things didn't go down with the witches like they seemed. I'm sick of it, and I'm pretty sure you are too. Oh no. Oh no, the power's out. Whatever shall we do? Nothing happened with this ship that would justify it just breaking down right now. It's glaring plot armor protecting the plot from happening.
Geez, Senator, I must go.
But the acting is just bland.
There were casualties.
Who?
The entire team.
Yes, more walking and talking. More walking and talking.
I've never heard of you.
It was a really long time ago.
Hey, relax, hey.
The Gopher knows. Oh, how adorable. Oh, the Gopher knows that she's an imposter. We have time for this, folks. This is $20 million. We have time for this.
Reset you to factory settings.
Factory reset in a galaxy far, far away.
The Jedi teach there's only one way to access the Force.
I will say again, similar to how I said last week, this guy's acting is great, okay? This is the only guy that's interesting in the entire show. I want to know more about him. I want to know more about his backstory, his lore, his master, his Sith master, of course. What is his story? But the dialogue here, unfortunately, is CW level of cringe. It's my emotions. My emotions. My emotions. My emotions. For the love of God, give us something to work with.
Our powerful emotions.
Oh my God.
That's the path to the dark side.
Semantics.
You killed Yord.
A man who didn't hesitate to turn you in.
You killed Jackie.
And where did you think that was going to go? You would have had the same relationship with her that you have with your master.
How does he know any of that or those connections there? Like, how does he know about Yord trying to turn her in? How does he know that her and Jackie had some kind of a flirty thing going?
Why do you love people who can only go so far, who can't go as deep as you can?
Are they trying to hint that there's going to be like a romance here with them because the two of them could be dark side together? Like, I don't...
I'm not my sister. I'm not that easily corrupted.
This is who you are.
They didn't throw me away.
Then why aren't you a Jedi?
Because I failed!
Oh, because I failed. Ooh, cry about it more. Oh my gosh. She said 2 seconds ago, I'm not as corruptible as my sister. Not even 100 words later, and she's having a fit. This is the worst character I think Star Wars has ever seen. Osha is worse than Jar Jar.
Love him, even though he's just a machine.
The show is trying to be smarter than it actually is through Master Soul. It wants you to think like, oh, Master Soul is this really deep character who's battling his own emotion, battling his own demons. But I don't trust the show enough to land on anything satisfying with any of these plot points. I don't trust it.
I've always been like that. Have you told me everything that happened on Brentalk?
You are very young.
But I'm not now.
Uh-oh, look at that. The plot armor comes back on to protect the plot from having to reveal itself. The ship comes back on right at the right time.
My name is...
At what point did Soul figure out that it was her? Like, the show doesn't really tell you. And what we're about to see is that you got the Gopher behind him, but we don't speak Gopher. And they made a point in previous episodes to say that Yord was really the only one that could communicate with the Gopher. So how did Soul find out in that 2-second span of time between when May walked off? Make it make sense.
What do you want?
The power of 2.
Says he wants the power of 2, but if you know about the Sith, you know that there's the rule of 2 and that there's a master and an apprentice, though I still don't believe that he is just a Sith all on his own. I believe he has a master that we haven't seen yet. Allegedly, David Harwood was supposed to be in the show. As we get further and further into the show, I don't believe we are going to see him. I believe those rumors were bullshit. But he says the power of 2, implying that it's what the witches said with the power of 1, power of 2, power of many. Power of 2, what he's saying here. It make sense. I still don't understand why that's important. On his own, he killed all of those Jedi. You just keep saying things that have no meaning behind the words.
How do you think I got it? Someone who threw me away?
Your Jedi Master?
Now, he deliberately does not answer here, which they want you to think that it's a Jedi that's thrown him away. If it is, that's stupid. That's stupid. That's really stupid. You could very easily have it where the Sith master throws the Sith apprentice away looking for another apprentice. If Darth Tenebrous is out there and throws Chimere away and then takes on Darth Plagueis, okay, well, that makes sense. That means Chimere is actually a loser in the grand scheme of things. Are we ever going to find out? Is the show ever going to answer that question? Probably not. I got no faith in it to actually execute on anything right.
It blocks out all your senses.
Try it on.
I don't trust you.
But you should learn to trust yourself.
She wants to put it on. Hey, remember, Jackie's dead. Now, by them playing those sound effects, it implies that Vernestra can sense force echoes, which is an incredibly rare ability. And I don't know if they've addressed that in the High Republic books. I know this character is present in the High Republic books. I also am aware that apparently the way that the actress is acting as this character is not how she appears in the books. So there's a gap between what the books say that this character is versus what she actually is now, different personalities and such. I don't know. I'm not a High Republic book fan. I'm just going by what I've seen online. So, you know, everything you see online is true, right? Point being is if she can actually hear all of this happening, if she could sense all this happening through the Force echoes, that's pretty important. That means she's super powerful in the Force. But don't worry, the show won't tell us. That's it for the whip. That's the scene from the trailer. That's all we get of the whip. What a stupid ass weapon.
A powerful Jedi has fallen. You don't think Master Soul was responsible?
That is quite the accusation. Should prepare these bodies for burial.
A couple things addressed here. Firstly, that Master Soul, they think, is the villain of this whole thing. I don't like if that's the twist at the end and they're going to just scapegoat him to have been the villain the whole time. But I am glad that they are going to bury the bodies here, and that's something that's been made of note. Soul leaving his Padawan that he cared very much about still seems incredibly out of character and foolish. But I'm glad that they did resolve that single plot point of, oh my gosh, they left all these Jedi bodies out in the forest to be found and devoured.
And let me go.
I will. Believe me. We have a lot to do. We need to find your master. We need to save Osha. I've had 16 years to think about what I would say to you. So you're going to listen.
Hey, remember the witches? The Jedi did something bad. The Jedi had foul play there. Oh, wow. Another week goes by where you've provided us nothing of substance. But it ain't over yet. She Vadered! Oh! Now, there is one last thing. At the very end of the credits, you can hear the Kylo Ren motif once more. Folks, I have no faith in this show to deliver a satisfying conclusion. I don't know if that's obvious from how I have talked about the show so far. Let's wrap this thing up. The Acolyte is truly a CW level Star Wars show. I know people have made that comparison before. Every time this show gets remotely interesting, it just starts to get interesting. It's abruptly dragged away and abruptly cuts to some bullshit that doesn't matter. This episode is awful in every way. It is a walking and talking simulator where nothing important happens. The whole conflict with parent trapping Master Soul is, they should have talked this episode. They should have actually had a discussion this episode. Everything with Osha and Chimere on Oct 3 seems like it's just gonna go nowhere, and that Osha's gonna become a big bad by the end of the show. So the sisters are going to switch places. But here's the thing, May is still a killer. She still killed a bunch of Jedi, so she's not absolved of that. There's really not much left to say other than this was incredibly disappointing. Defense I've had for the show kind of went up in smoke after this because there's just nothing else to defend. This is a boring slog fest where you got to wait week to week to get breadcrumbs of mystery boxes. But we all know that once that mystery box is revealed, it's just going to be a big puff of air. That's all the show is. It's just a fart in the wind. So as we tie things up, I want to thank you for watching me suffer through this week's Acolyte episode. If you would, please go ahead and hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And if you didn't like what I had to say, thanks for hanging out for this long. Until next time, create, innovate, inspire. May the thread of destiny be with you. And for the love of God, cancel Disney Plus.